Boom. What's up, everybody? It is 6:38 on April 16th, 2025. Welcome to the Grit Call. Thanks, everybody that's here live. I know there's lots of things you could be doing tonight. It is a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. So I appreciate you guys. Some of you guys are en route to, from, out and about, but I appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll try to keep this fairly succinct and make sure that we kind of wrap up on time. So hopefully you guys are doing awesome. It's good to see you. First off, last weekend, I thought you guys did an awesome job. Um, both teams, I thought, amplified or demonstrated, exemplified what we're wanting by playing hard and playing together. And I know both teams did that. So we'll live with the results if we do those two things, play hard and play together. And the pink team going 3-1 in the Division 1 bracket, and then the blue team going 1-3 but finishing the weekend on a win. Um, Definitely a good way to finish off the weekend. Heading into this week, homework. Some of you guys have been submitting your scores. Some of you guys don't know what that means quite yet. But if you're listening and you're on the blue squad, you might not have heard Coach Lunt gave this assignment to the pink squad, but you guys are going to try to do the best you can to catch up. So we want you to make 1,500 threes this week. I know we're just giving you this now, so you might be a little bit behind. So I will say make as many as you can in increments of 100. So what that means is, Rue, you're going to shoot until you make 100 shots. And you're going to keep track of how many it took for you to make 100. Okay, so elite shooters are in the 100 to 110 range. That's if you can make 100 out of 105 or 110, you're an elite shooter. 111 to 125, it's pretty good shooting. So that's what you are assigned to do. We're going to put this in a spreadsheet. So you guys all need to, if you are on this call, should be taking notes, or hopefully you already have it, but Google Sheets. Google Sheets. You will need to have Google Sheets. It's like Excel. It's like an Excel document. If you guys are old like me, you might be thinking, oh, Excel. Google Sheets is similar as Excel. So you need to have that downloaded to your phone. And we're going to have you guys track in that spreadsheet, that Google spreadsheet. You're going to track your makes in 100 make increments. So, what it's going to look like, each one of you will have your own tab. You guys know what a tab is. Different on the bottom, there's different tabs, and you will have one that has your name on it. You will report in that Google Sheet. It's going to have all 20 of us in that sheet. So here comes Tyler. It's not him. Like so you will, I'll put everybody's name in the spreadsheet. You will click on the tab that has your name, and that's where you'll input your data, your numbers. So you will all have access to this Google Sheet. I'm going to add all of you as editors, meaning that you can edit it, right? Editor, edit, right? Get it? Got it? Good. So we're going to get you guys all in there with the email that you submitted, your information in the spreadsheet. So let me see. whatever one it is. Some of you guys changed it. No worries, Tyler. You're good. Hopefully you hit them straight. Tyler just got done with the golf tournament. So hopefully you hit them straight. But you guys are, and Carter's trying to get in. Is Carter in yet? Swanson? Okay. He says he's having trouble entering the Zoom. So I resent him the link again. We'll see if he's able to get in. But Coach Willis is on with that sweet CJW. Coach Jonathan Willis, Polo. What's up, Coach Willis? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm just fine. How's everybody else doing tonight? It's a great day to have a great day. So I'm really impressed with how I only watched a portion of one of the Pink Squad's games, but I was really impressed with them. Really proud of the Blue Squad. Shout out to Lane with the dunk.
What?
In game.
Huh?
I love it.
Did Rue get hung, Coach Willis?
Rue got fouled on the first attempt, and I think he jumped higher on the first attempt than he did on the second attempt. So if he would have made the second dunk, I would have classified it as a power layup. Now,
is that where you finger roll it over the front of the rim and then you kind of snap the rim
kind of like
so
push
people that
it
don't
over
see it. Yeah.
It's not like Lane threw it down. There's no doubt about that.
I saw that. I got on Game Changer. I saw the film. I would definitely classify that as an in-game dunk. That one was no question legit. Rue, have yet to see footage of him putting it down.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on Rue. Now, I'll tell you this, Coach. It wasn't a 360 at South Salem.
Talk about it. At 36 years old, I was still doing 360s.
There is footage of that, Coach Bolger. There is video footage.
I have seen that video. I would classify that as a dunk. That's
It's like a 290, maybe a 310.
It's close.
People might call it a 360, but there was a little pre-rotation before the spin around.
There's always some pre-rotation. That doesn't change the fact that you still are throwing it down in your 30 or when you were in your 30s. Like that's a bang out in my opinion. That's better than
6'2". I'm 6'2", Bolger. So I mean,
I hope that when I'm that age that I will still be throwing it down. My knees, they might not make it that long. I might need a replacement before then. But
don't tear an Achilles. Don't talk to Coach Willis and I about Achilles injuries.
Yeah, I'll stay away from that. Yeah.
Old man injuries.
Speaking of Achilles, I do just want to let the team know that I played ball Monday, like 5-on-5 for the first time since January of 2024.
For the first time. Who was it, a pickup or was it a city league or
it was pickup? And I actually I took a bet. Somebody bet me that one of the guys would not score. They bet me lunch. And all I'm gonna tell you is I ate for free on Monday.
Lockdown?
Yeah. Now, my back felt like I got hit by a truck on Tuesday morning, but, Coach, I didn't give up a basket.
That's pretty impressive. Lockdown defender.
That's right, Rue. That's right, Rue.
Rue's still confused. He doesn't know what's going on. His camera's all blurry. He's spinning his phone around. Carter forgot to have his phone horizontal. There we go.
Hey, be careful with those, son.
I can't. I'm not sure what was up with the link, but hopefully you got it figured out. There's Tyler in that nice polo, Lake Oswego golf polo, joining us. Thanks for hopping in. But no, 360s, or even if you have a little bit of a slight spin before. I can't wait for you guys to be in your late 30s still throwing it down. Some of you guys got to start throwing it down before you can keep throwing it down.
It's true.
And a has been is better than a never was. There's some guys that talk about how, oh, I almost, or I could have, or, they'll be talking about their Achilles injuries like Coach Willis and I, yet they never played Division I basketball like Coach Willis.
Or Coach Miner.
Or Coach Miner. Has been greater than a never was. Think about that. So your assignment, you guys are hopefully, I haven't checked the master mindset training for this week. But hopefully you guys got that finished. And we're going to get you all entered into that spreadsheet. So I'm going to add everybody's name on the bottom, and you guys will be responsible for getting in as many makes as you can. Mitch, I'm going to call on you, and then I'm going to call on Jack. What's your best been so far, Mitch? Have you got any under 110?
My best has been 110 exactly.
110 exactly. Not bad. Not bad at all. Jack, have you got down in the teens?
I got to 122 earlier today.
122. Solid. That's solid. 122 is good. Who else has done it? Who else has made 100? Cody, what's your best?
I got
20s?
I got 142 right now.
142. Okay, that's better than 2 out of 3. So
Cody, that's
see if you can get
Cody.
down in the 30s. What do you got, Bulger?
Cody, that's Coach JB numbers, man. You gotta do better than that, man. You don't want to shoot like me.
No, I got you, Coach. I got you.
Yeah.
He's getting it down there. Hopefully, Tyler, what's your best?
I was in the low 130s, I think. I don't remember the exact number, but
130s. Okay. Kaysen, have you got down 150, 140? Mitchell, Kaysen Mitchell?
I just got back from the gym. I think I got 155 was my lowest.
155. Okay, that's 2 out of every 3 shots with nobody guarding you. But yeah, so that's the assignment, is how many you can make, how many it takes you to make 100. And you're going to track that. That way you can hopefully see progress throughout the season. And again, we're not going to be too harsh this week if you don't get all of your makes in. But it's funny, those guys that get their makes in usually are the ones that get to make shots in games. So we're going to track it. So be honest. Don't fib your numbers. Just do the best you can. And we will hopefully see progress. And if you're in the 150s, there's room for progress. Everybody can get better. Until you start getting 100 for 100, everybody can get better. So work on that. Hopefully you guys get in shots and do some cardio also. So if this next week, we might have some timed miles. We might have you guys do at least 2 timed miles throughout the week. So we'll update you on that. You don't need to worry about that this week. What's up, Maya? Maya's got the phone. So you don't have to worry about the timed miles this week, but next week we will have at least 1, maybe 2 timed miles where you'll use your phone, and you can either, if you have a waistband or pocket where you can hold it, whatever, but you'll track your mile time. And some of this is we want you to get 1,500 makes, but ultimately it's on you guys to do it. Like, we can't want it for you. So if you don't have the time, I kind of get it, but you are putting your priorities in other places, right? So we all have the same amount of hours in the day. It's just how you spend them, it varies, right? So your time goes to your priorities. So I try not to use being busy as an excuse, because you make time for things that matter, right? Does that make sense? You make time for things that matter. So if you want to play college basketball, but you can't find 3 hours throughout the week to make your jump shots, then maybe that's not your priority. So think about that. Do what you can to get as many sets of 100 makes as you can. keep track of it. I think the older guys, the pink team is sending it to Coach Lunt. I think you can keep doing that if you want, but we're gonna have everybody track it in a spreadsheet. So that way, hopefully, you can see that number go from 144 to 140, 142 to 138 to 136, and hopefully just try to see it get as close as you can to 100 for 100. 100. Keep it 100. This weekend, we're in Seattle. So we're in Seattle this weekend representing Grit. We play at 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the blue team, let me pull it up. So the blue team plays at 4 and 6, and the pink team plays at 5 and 7. They're both at Highline. Both teams are playing Saturday at Highline Community College. Highline Community College. And then I think some of you guys are staying at the same hotel. So maybe you guys can grab dinner or something after. But we will be at Highline. And then I think definitely Sunday's game times depend on Saturday's results. So what time we play Sunday will depend on how the results of Saturday. So that's the schedule for this weekend. What we know about it so far, we will practice Friday night at Pacific University. Shout out Pacific University. Go Boxers. We will be there from 6 to 8 PDT, Pacific Daylight Time. I know some of you guys have said you might not be able to make it for the practice. Some of you, I know Carter, unless he has an update, won't be there Saturday. Tyler, Eddie won't be there Sunday. Vincent might not be there Sunday, depending on game times. But if you have to miss something, make sure you're communicating it sooner than later. Obviously, things come up and we have things happen. But if you know ahead of time that your aunt or somebody's going to be baptized, then let us know ahead of time like Vince did. And that's why we have 2 teams of 10, because sometimes things do happen. Sometimes then we have guys that are doing golf and track. And I don't know if anybody's playing baseball, but you guys are doing other things. So we understand, but make sure you're doing the best you can to communicate as far in advance as you can. So that way there's not last minute surprises, because those are the things that upset me. I don't mind if you guys have to miss, but when you pull it out last minute that, hey, I'm not going to make it, that's the type of stuff that drives coaches crazy. That, and then you want to make sure you ace the easy stuff. I keep saying that, but some of you guys aren't doing it. So ace the easy stuff. We have pictures. I'm going to be Russell's dad took some awesome photos of the pink team. There was a Zeller. Mr. Zeller took photos and videos of the blue team. Some of you guys saw those on the Instagram. Some pretty cool pictures, pretty cool videos. So take a look at those. But make sure that you guys take care of your bodies this week. I highly recommend maybe when we get off this call, going for a run. Get a little bit of cardio. Get a little bit in. That way you're not showing up to practice Friday having not done anything all week. But hopefully you guys did the assignment on the Master Your Mindset. I will start getting reports and I'll get caught up on that. make your shots. Was there anything else that Coach Lunt, like I mentioned, is having dinner with John Gears? But was there other homework, Cody or Kaysen or Caleb, somebody that was there? Was there anything else, or is it just making 1,500? 1,500 jump shots? 1,500 threes? Okay. So make sure you guys are getting that done. And Coach Willis, do you got anything you want to say tonight? And then we'll pass it to Bulger. Then we'll let you guys all get on with your nights. Coach Willis, you got anything you want to say or anything you want to leave
Yeah,
us with?
so I just want to encourage everybody to think about what you did in the tournament last weekend, right? And then how you can elevate from that. How can you grow from that? I think everybody falls into one of three categories. Either you played as well as you wanted to play, or you didn't play as well as you wanted to play, right? Or you might feel like I left something in the tank, right? So how can we grow and move forward as a unit? I know, like on the blue team, some of you might be asked to do some things that you weren't asked to do. Like I talked to Rue, and I'm going to say this just like I said to him in the parking lot. I was probably most impressed with his effort, just with his motor, right? Because Rue is often, I love him, but sometimes he can be a little lazy for my liking, right? He's just cool. He's just cool as the other side of the pillow, right? But the effort that you brought to the game, that's now a floor. That's not a ceiling, right? Because now you've shown us what you're capable of. So now the expectation is that you play that way. So great job. Shout out to Zach. Zach came in. We went to Zach like 6 straight trips, drew like 3 fouls, made 3 shots, right? So that was beautiful. So playing with that confidence, hope everybody continues to build. This has to be a building block thing. So and the same thing for the guys on the pink team, making sure you're building and continuing to progress and get better.
Always getting better, continuous improvement. So trying to just get a little better every day. I'm with it. Coach Bulger, what do you got, man?
Yeah, I got 2 things. One, I just wanted to, I don't know, I really admired Aiden's ability to bounce back and play very well after having a rough game in the morning or a rough first game, and then coming out and really putting on, going to get rebounds, attacking the basket, making great passes, just all around making defensive and offensive plays happen through the hustle. And I think that that's something that people should be thinking about and moving forward. Like, you know,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hopefully you didn't
and,
drown.
right, some people,
We'll let him go for a little bit. We'll let him go for a little bit. Just see how long he lasts.
can you hear me?
We lost you for a little bit, Bulger. Yeah, but you're back.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So when you're given an opportunity, some people might think, I didn't play very well in the first game, and in this second game, I'm probably not going to play. But when he was given an opportunity, he stepped up to the plate, he swung the bat, and he knocked it out of the park. And so we're going to keep him in the game, right? So people have to think like that. The play before, it was bad. I'm sitting on the bench now. Let's figure out what I did wrong, and let's go do the hustle plays, the little things to stay on the floor. And that's what I want people to think about. And the second thing I want to say is that today I ran a mile in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So if you're running a mile in more than 7 minutes and 10 seconds, that's not good. You got to be better than that. You guys are young. You've got legs. You're playing basketball. I'm lazy. I just lift. I don't do anything else. So let's have fast mile times. Put some effort in. Give it a couple of tries this week. Before we actually time it as a team, and go grit. Excited to see you guys.
Let's go, Grit Squad. Okay. We're going to have each one of you is going to shout out somebody else. So I'm going to call on you. So this is your guys' chance to give a teammate a quick DAP, virtual DAP or fist bump. So I want you to say their name and something that you think they did well or something that they brought to the table this last weekend that you admired. So we're going to go to Russell Daniels, big guy.
Hey,
What do you got?
I'm gonna shout out Vince. He just stayed positive through all the adversity he went through.
Love it. Yeah, he does that. Vince is that guy. I know he asked me kind of what was happening with his shot, and it's just confidence. You just got to let it fly, man, and know that you're a good shooter, and definitely staying positive. And then I was watching that second game on Sunday, and it looked like he kind of got it going. And just this week, make a lot of shots. So good job, Russell. Thanks for getting us started, and good job, Vince. Mitchell, Marion, Mitchell, Clark Kent, what do you got?
I was also going to shout out Vince just because shots weren't falling. You kept shooting, kept staying positive, and just kept being an overall good teammate.
That's Vince for you. He is a great teammate and a great shooter. So good shooters have a short memory. Let it fly. Let it fly if you're a shooter. Tyler Eddy, who you got? Give us a shout out.
I'm gonna shout out Zach. He was staying positive, like confident during the whole games.
Love it. Good job, Zach. Freshman connection there. Tyler dishing it off to Eddie. Clayton Sleggers, you're next. Who do you got?
I'm gonna shout out Mitch because he got 111 out of on a shooting drill, and I thought that was really impressive.
Nice. Yeah, that is shooting it. That is shooting it. That's like 90%, over 90%. Cody, can you unmute and give us a shout out to somebody?
Yeah, I want to shout out Casey Mitchell. He did a great job battling inside, got a lot of rebounds, and was finishing really well around the rim.
Love it. Yeah, Kaysen was getting beat up in there. They weren't calling anything, and all those scrappy little guys in there just trying to take the ball, and you were stronger than I thought you were. And I love the way you change shots at the rim. You probably got about 2 or 3 blocks a game, but you also changed and altered probably another 2 to 3 shots. And there was probably another 2 to 3 shots that guys didn't even take because they were worried the big man in the middle was going to send that away. So I loved it. Fitzgerald, Kellen Fitzgerald. Who do you got?
I want to shout out Lane. I thought his hustle was great this weekend, both offensively and defensively.
Lane Simmons. Good job, Lane. I do like the way you play a lot. I like your mid-range. I think you're silky and deceptive, and you use your length really well, and you do play hard. Great job. Kaysen Lariz.
I got Jack. He played really well the whole weekend, and he was shooting really well too in all the games.
He is a sniper. But he's also got that little mid-range, and it gets you off balance because he can shoot it, or he can shake and get to the cup. Good stuff. Caleb Longfellow, what do you got?
I got Russell just for kind of like the same thing Cody was saying about Kaysen, but like Russell's not as big as Kaysen, but still working to get those same boards and just working through all the contact.
I love it. Yeah, Russell, if you guys don't know, hasn't played significant minutes in a game. How long, Russell? When was the last time you played significant minutes?
It's been since probably almost a year and a half.
So like 16, 18 months. So he's getting back in the swing of things. And so it's awesome. And you do play hard. And he was with Grit freshman year, I think it was, right? Freshman year. And obviously has improved a lot since then. Always been athletic and used to I remember him just running people into the ground when we would do running drills. But now he's got that bounce and rebounds and plays really hard. So great job this weekend, Russell. Jack is back and he's on the attack. He's laying down the law. He's taking no slack. Jack.
I want to shout out Russell because I could count like 3 or 4 times. Shot went up and I went back on defense and I looked back and I saw him just crashing the glass and putting it back up.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome when you miss a shot it doesn't look as bad when somebody's right there to clean it up, right? Good job, Russell. Zach Miller. Miller time. What do you got?
I want to shout out Kellen because he's really easy to communicate with on defense, especially up top in our zone.
Nice. Fitzgerald, yeah. That's who you're shouting out. Kellen Fitzgerald. Let's go. Lane Simons. Who do you got?
I want to shout out Rue Olson. He was hustling on defense and offense the whole time, no matter what it like was going on.
Love it. Lane has, like I think it was Coach Willis was saying, he used to have a little bit too much cool in his vibe for me, but he's always been a cool guy. Rue is really cool. He doesn't know how to spell his last name, so I'm not going to give him too much shit on this call, but I don't know who Old Deb is, but Rue Old Deb down there has a little swag in his game, but I do admire how you changed it up and play hard. Just play hard. You can be cool after school, but during school, don't be too cool. Kason Mitchell. Unmute. Who do you got?
I'm gonna shout out Cody because like not only was he getting some tough buckets throughout like all the games, but he was also just being like a great teammate and like helping me figure out the pick and roll and just like dropping some really good passes there too. So shouting
Nice.
out him.
Shout out Cody Dimflemeyer. Dropping dimes. Kason, do you see Kason with that little bit of like, oh, I don't know. I'm just an ear. Did you mute? You're muting and unmuting with that push of a button. That's next level. That's Bluetooth technology that I don't know how to use. Carter Swanson. Who do you got? Swimming Swanson.
I want to shout out Lane for getting his first dunk in game.
First in-game throwdown. That's one you'll remember because I remember mine and I'm old. So you'll remember that one, Lane. And you'll remember the steal and hopefully they get better. I'm not saying it was bad, but I think you're the type of guy that by the time senior year rolls around, you might be having some people like hanging out down under the rim and you'll be up above the rim, just throwing it down on them, catching a body, tossing it down, throwing it down, throw it down, big man. Rue, Old Deb, who you got?
I want to shout out Lane with his first dunk, but it was a travel anyway, so.
He's calling it a travel. And Rue, who we talked about earlier, got fouled on the first one, Coach Willis said, but he's calling it a travel, Lane. So I don't know. We might have to go to the film, go to the review table, but they didn't call it. So if they don't call it, I'm gonna say it was a dunk and it was legit, Rue. I mean, Rue's still shaking his head. He's thinking that's erroneous. That's erroneous on all accounts. Tyler Lakem, who you got? Tyler.
I want to shout out Jack because he buoyed us through some tough stretches with some good shot making.
Did you say buoyed?
Yeah.
It's an SAT word for you all. That's good stuff. That's a good vocabulary, expansive vocabulary. It's something that I don't have the most big vocabulary. Ginormous vocabulary. Did I miss anybody? Did anybody not give a shout? Bolger, Willis, you want to give anything before anybody else I know you mentioned some of your guys. You said Aiden. That was Aiden you were talking about before you went in the fish tank, Bolger.
Yeah, sorry, my service. I've been in and out this whole time, but my service is pretty bad. Aiden, yeah, and I will say Rue and Lane. I mean, like all around, it's just a great team effort this weekend. So if I could shout, I'll shout everybody out because those were all team wins, and everybody impressed me quite a bit.
Love it. Coach Willis, anything you want to add? And we'll let these kids get on their merry way.
Yeah, I just think there's pretending to be Kaysen right now.
I know you're trying.
No,
You're trying to figure out how to do it, but it wasn't working. Okay.
yeah, I don't have the technology. No, I just want to encourage everybody to think about how you warm up. Like you gotta get a lather going. Like this, it's not like I know it looks cool to kind of trot through warm ups, right? But the translation is you're not ready to go when the game starts. And so, as a college coach, if I sub you into the game and you're not ready to go, then I'm gonna sub you right back out, and then you're gonna miss your rotation, and you might not get back in. That's just kind of how that works. So, the point is this: some of you may have started on your high school team, some of you may be starting for grit. You may go to college and you may not start. You may come off the bench. You may be seventh. You may be eighth. You may be ninth. You may have to sit the whole game and then they put you in just to make one shot. So you need to figure out, what do I need to do to get a lather going and get sweaty? What do I need to do to get a lather going and get sweat? Because when that game starts, you need to be ready to go. So
you can't wait to work. You can't wait to get ready. You got to be ready when it comes. At Pacific, when I was coaching there, you'd play about 45 seconds and come out. 45 seconds to a minute and you come out. And people are like, well, how do you ever get in the flow of the game? Well, you got to do it mentally while you're not in the game. And I know I say that same thing about when you're not in the drill, you're still in the drill. When you're not in the game, you're still in the game. Because you got to be ready. You can't get in the game and have a couple trips to get the flow. You got to make sure you're ready to come in right away. And so, like Coach Willis was saying, when you're warming up, I mean, yeah, and just so we know, I don't want you guys wearing headphones or earbuds when we're warming up. I want us to be focused in, and if you can say that helps you, but it might not look it. If it helps you, you got to figure out a different way to do it because it doesn't look good. It looks like you're selfish, to be honest. I'm not calling anybody out, and I know nobody on this call is selfish, but it looks like you're in your own little world, and we want to be a collective. We want to be a team together. And so I think, more huddles is something I would say that I want to see more, like before the game, like after we break the huddle with Coach Lunt or Coach Willis or Bolger, then you guys get a little quick touch before you walk out together. Free throws, you got to get there quick. You can't delay because especially when time's running, we're playing running clocks, running halves sometimes. Most of the time this season we will. So don't delay. You just got to get there, get a quick touch, get in tight, make it a tight circle, and then get to your spots. But more huddling. I thought you guys did a good job sprinting to pick people up, help them up. When somebody hits the floor, if it's a dead ball, obviously if the ball's still in play, you're not going to go help them up because you still got a job to do. But if it's a whistle blows or the ball goes out of bounds, everybody's sprinting to help them up. So I thought we did a good job at that. Just want to make sure that we all know those things. When somebody checks out of the game, everybody on the bench stands up and daps them up, and the person that's coming out goes down and daps up everybody, or high fives, slap hands, whatever you guys do. But you go down the bench, touch the other guys, and then you can go sit down. I say try not to let your back hit the back of the chair if there is a seat. If you're in a seat, try not to lean back. Try not to let your back hit the chair seat back, because that looks like you're not as engaged in the game. And I know some people say, well, I'm still listening, coach, even though I'm not looking at you. I don't care. Look at me when I'm talking. Look at me when I'm talking. And when you're not looking, it's hard. It's easier to not pay attention if you're not looking. If you're looking at somebody, making eye contact with them, it's hard to not listen to what they're saying. And that's like we say sometimes, like, it's okay to be tired, just don't look it. And making eye contact and being an active, engaged listener, that's a skill that can help differentiate you from the next kid. If I'm watching a team and I see a kid that's just kind of spacing off during a timeout or looking like they don't care, or they're looking up in the crowd, looks disinterested, and The kid that I coached back when he was in 7th grade just won Northern Idaho Player of the Year. And so I was looking back through pictures of me coaching him, and they were all him just locked in on me or whoever the coach was. And it's no surprise that now he's getting a scholarship to go play at Western Colorado. But he was a good player, but he also made eye contact. He listened, he was engaged, he nodded along, active listening. So make sure you guys think about that. Make sure that you don't have your back, hit the seat. When you check out of the game, you dap everybody up. When somebody does come out, you stand up. You got to have a short memory. If you look like you're upset when you come out of the game, like Coach Willis said, it's probably going to push you down further, and we're less likely to put you back in the game. And it's okay if you're pissed off a little bit when you come out. You just can't look like it. You can't show it. And I know that's hard and that's tough for everybody to feel a certain way, but not to look it or not to act it. Like, it's okay to feel that way. You just can't look it. And that's kind of something that takes practice and time. But there's times when I'm like talking with my wife and I know I'm right, but I can't. I just have to, and I don't, it's not mocking. It's not me saying, oh, yeah, okay, whatever, you're right. You actually have to, it's not how I feel, but I'm gonna swallow it and just try to do the best I can to appease. And so it's okay to be tired, just don't look it. It's all right to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. It's detrimental to not be prepared. So make sure you guys are ready this weekend in Seattle. There'll be college coaches there watching. As you guys know, you guys all play for college coaches. So if you're not playing hard or you're not playing together, it's going to be harder for us to stick our neck out for you when you're looking for some place to play. Right? So not saying that there's ever a time that you should coast, but especially not when you have college coaches in the gym with you all the time when you're in the gym, because it's not good. We want to help you guys, but I'm not going to put my reputation on the line saying stuff that's not true. So we had a player last year, good player. He was conference player of the year this year as a senior. And I had a tough conversation with him. I was like, hey, what do you think I would say if a college coach were to call me and ask me about you right now? What do you think I would say? And he said, well, I bet you'd probably say I'm a little flaky because I haven't been coming to the meetings. Damn right, that's what I would say. Well, are you? Silence. Well, are you flaky? Are you a flaky person? Do you say you're going to do stuff and not do it? So you have a couple of choices. You can either change your actions or you can admit that you're flaky and that people can't depend on you. And if you can't be depended on to show up or to at least tell me ahead of time that you're not going to make a meeting or that you're not going to make a game, you can't be counted on to do that. Like, why would I count on you to know the play late in the game? Why would I trust that you're going to know what to do? So it kind of goes back to that idea of acing the easy stuff by communicating things ahead of time, but make sure, I mean, that's a life lesson right there. That's in all things. So think about that. Love you all, Grit fam. And we're going to fight this weekend. And hopefully it's a good showing. I think last spring when we went to Seattle, we came home with t-shirts, right, Cody? You guys got t-shirts, and then I got you guys rings after that. So that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're getting ready for. If you guys have concerns, complaints or anything, I just sent in our group chat. So I said that I was going to do it, but what I want you guys to do is I want you to set up a new sheet for yourself or a new tab. Okay. So what you will do is if you guys have your phones, it'll look like something like this. It'll look like a spreadsheet. Okay. And on the bottom of the spreadsheet, it says sheet 1 and sheet 2. And then on the right of that, there's a plus sign. You're going to tap that plus sign, and then I just did it, and it says now sheet 3. Then you're going to tap that sheet 3 and rename it. You can rename it your name, first and last name. And then that's where then I will have in the first sheet, I'm renaming it master sheet. And so what you'll do is on that master sheet, you'll see what you do. So I'm going to make the columns. You can just put your initials for initials where it says initials. You'll just put your initials in there. And this is something you're going to do on your own page, on your own tab. So initials makes attempts. So BM makes 100 attempts, 120. So that's what it's going to look like on your tab. So on your tab,
Coach Miner, you there? I can't hear him. Can y'all hear him? It's frozen, right? So essentially, he has created a Google Sheet. So at the bottom, there's gonna be like a plus, right? You click that and probably just label it how he says. He'll probably send out some instructions, probably with your name, stuff like that. All right. Everybody good? So you can go back probably to the home page of it, first page, and copy whatever formatting is there and just paste that. Everybody understand that? Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? No. Is there anybody who does not have a ride to Seattle? Anybody does not know how you get in there? Okay, very good. Make sure that you pack